It took me 10 years to understand this, but I can share it with you in half an hour. Life doesn't wait for anyone. The sun still comes up. The world keeps moving. Whether you're prepared or not, time flows like a river that never pauses. Every morning when you wake up, it's proof that you still have a chance, but it's also a warning. If you don't get up and take action, life will move on without you. Think about it. Friends we once had have moved forward. Jobs we thought were secure are gone. Moments that felt eternal are now just stories in our minds. The world doesn't stop when you're exhausted. It doesn't slow down when your heart hurts. And it surely doesn't freeze because you're being lazy. That's why mornings are powerful. Each new day is a doorway, a moment to decide who you will be. Will you repeat the same mistakes again, or will you rise stronger, ready to grow? The truth might sound cold, but it's also freeing. Nobody really cares. Everyone is busy fighting their own battles, but that's not something to be sad about. It's something that should make you stand up taller. Because if no one is coming to rescue you, it means you hold all the power to change your life. That's the magic of mornings. They remind you that your story still belongs to you. Regret visits many people when they wake up. Regret for wasted time, lost dreams, or missed chances. But regret is useless unless you turn it into action. Don't see your past as a trap. See it as a classroom. Every wrong choice has a lesson written inside it, and every failure is a step toward wisdom. Each morning is your chance to take what you've learned and say, I won't repeat what hurt me. I'll create something better. Here's the truth you can't ignore. If you don't wake up and work on your own dreams, someone else will pay you to build theirs. That's how life works. If you wander without direction, if you stay distracted, if you keep waiting for everything to be perfect, that moment will never come. You'll spend your days helping someone else reach their goals, while your own dreams quietly fade. Every sunrise gives you a choice. Build your own path or help build another person's, and through it all, silence will be your friend. Work quietly, guard your dreams, celebrate your wins in private. People can ruin good things, not always because they mean harm, but sometimes through doubt, jealousy, or negativity. When you share too much too early, you open your dreams to the storms of other people's opinions. The Stoics taught that we shouldn't care about what others think, and that lesson still holds true. Create quietly, protect your energy. Let your success speak for you when the time comes. Also, remember this: not all advice is worth listening to. The world is full of voices telling you how to live, what to do, and where to go. But if the person giving you advice doesn't live a life you respect, why take their words seriously? Choose your teachers with care. Tune out the noise. Follow only those whose actions show the results you wish for yourself. That's the heart of this message. These aren't just sentences. They are ideas that can change how you greet each morning, how you face your problems, and how you see your future. It took me years of mistakes, pain, and deep thought to understand these truths. My goal is to save you that long journey. Today, let's walk through them together. And when we finish, you'll be ready to wake up every morning with strength and purpose. Say it with me: I will rise stronger every morning. Number 1, work in silence. Celebrate in private. In a world that praises loud voices, being quiet can be your greatest strength. Everywhere you turn, people are shouting about their dreams, goals, and future plans. They tell everyone what they're going to do before even taking the first real step. But here's the problem. When you share too much too early, you open the door for doubt, jealousy, and even sabotage. That's why one of the most powerful lessons I've learned is this: work quietly, celebrate privately. When you keep your dreams to yourself, you keep them safe. Think of your dreams as small seeds planted in the ground. If you dig them up again and again just to show people, they'll never take root. But if you water them silently, with patience and care, they'll grow into something strong and lasting. Not everyone wants to see you succeed. Sometimes even people close to you can feel jealous, not because they hate you, but because your progress reminds them of what they haven't done. If you're always announcing your every move, you give others the chance to plant doubt in your heart. They'll say things like, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" Or, "What if it doesn't work?" And before you know it, those small comments start to eat away at your confidence. The Stoics warned against living for the approval of others. Epictetus taught that the more you chase validation, the less freedom you have. Silence gives you that freedom. It lets you focus on building instead of performing. It helps you care more about real progress than about getting claps from the crowd. Think about some of the most successful people in history. They didn't wake up every day telling the world their next move. They just kept working quietly, step by step, until their results spoke louder than any words ever could. True greatness doesn't need to shout. It shows itself through what it creates. Celebrating in silence matters just as much. Why? Because when you show off your wins, you can draw jealousy, negativity, or even people who want to use you. Sometimes the attention makes you relax too soon, as if the job is already finished. But when you celebrate quietly, you stay focused. You stay hungry for more. You protect your drive and your peace. This doesn't mean you must hide everything forever. It just means you should share wisely. Speak only when your work is strong enough to stand on its own, when no one's opinion can shake your confidence. Until then, guard your dreams like something precious. So how do you do this? Simple. The next time you feel the urge to tell everyone your plans, stop and think. Ask yourself, will saying this help me grow or just make me feel good for a moment? If it's only for your ego, stay silent. Let your progress do the talking when the time is right. Tomorrow morning, when you sit in stillness, remind yourself, my silence is my armor. My effort is my voice. And when the moment comes, my results will speak for me. Say it with confidence. I will guard my dreams with silence and let my success make the noise. Number 2, don't regret. Learn and move forward. Regret is one of the heaviest weights a person can carry. It clings to you, slowing you down and whispering in your ear that you should have done more, that you wasted your time, that it's already too late. But here's the truth. Regret is useless unless you turn it into something that drives you forward. How many mornings have you opened your eyes and thought about the things you wish you had done differently? Maybe you think about a job you turned down, a friendship you broke, or a chance you let slip away. That's the trap regret sets for you. It tricks you into believing the past is still alive, when in truth it's already over. You can't go back, you can't change what happened. All you can do is learn from it and use it to grow stronger. The Stoic teachers understood this deeply. Epictetus once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Regret is exactly that. Pain born from your own imagination, pain created from something that no longer exists. The past is a closed door. The only power it has is the wisdom you take from it. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What did this teach me?" That simple question changes everything. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Every heartbreak becomes understanding. Every wasted year becomes a reason not to waste the next one. But regret doesn't just weigh you down, it also blinds you. You get so busy looking back at what you lost that you can't see what's right in front of you. Picture driving a car while staring only in the rearview mirror. You'd crash, right? That's exactly what happens when you live stuck in regret. You keep your eyes fixed on yesterday, and your future quietly slips away. So, how do you break free from regret? First, accept that the past can't be changed. Forgive yourself for being human. Everyone makes mistakes. Everyone takes wrong turns. What truly matters is whether you repeat those mistakes or rise above them. Second, take action right now. The best cure for regret is movement. If you regret not taking care of your body, start exercising today. If you regret not chasing your dreams, take one small step toward them now. Regret begins to fade the moment you prove to yourself that the future can still be better. And third, remind yourself that you are not the same person who made those old choices. Every morning gives you a fresh start. The fact that you feel regret means you've grown wiser. Don't punish the new version of yourself for what the old one did. Honor your progress by moving forward with strength and understanding. Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Your regrets and mistakes aren't walls blocking your path. They are the path. Use them. Let them build your strength instead of breaking it. And when tomorrow comes and regret tries to whisper your name, answer it with movement. Say, "Thank you for the lesson, but I'm moving forward now." Write this down and keep it close. I am not my past. I learn, I grow, I move forward. Number 3. Life waits for nobody. Life doesn't wait. It doesn't pause. It doesn't give second chances. One of the biggest lies we tell ourselves is that we have plenty of time. We keep saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," or "maybe next week," or "one day I'll start." But that one day almost never comes. It quietly turns into never. If you have a dream in your heart, a goal you want to reach, or a change you need to make, don't expect life to wait for you to feel ready, brave, or comfortable. It won't. The world keeps spinning, whether you move or not. The moment you open your eyes, the race has already begun. Someone somewhere is already chasing the same dream you're putting off. Someone is practicing, improving, or creating while you're still hesitating or lost in your phone. Someone out there is already living the life you're only imagining. The world doesn't slow down just because you're unsure. The Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Don't act as if you were going to live forever. Death hangs over you. While you can, be good." His words remind us that time is the most limited thing we have. You don't own tomorrow. You don't even own the next few minutes. You only have now, this moment, this heartbeat, this morning. What you choose to do with it matters more than anything else. Think about how many chances have already slipped through your fingers because you waited too long. Think about how often you said, "I'll start soon," and ended up in the exact same place months later. That's what happens when you think life will slow down for you. It never does. The real pain isn't in trying and failing. It's in realizing one day that you never even started. Life keeps moving no matter what. Nature doesn't stop to hear your excuses. The seasons still change, the sun still rises and falls. People are born, people leave, and time keeps flowing forward. You can either move with it, taking small steps every day, or you can fight against it and be dragged along. But no matter what, time doesn't stop. So what does that mean for your mornings? It means that how you begin your day shapes everything that follows. If you start with focus and purpose, you'll move in rhythm with life's flow. But if you start with laziness, distraction, or delay, you'll quickly fall behind. Morning isn't just a part of the day, it's a battleground where you choose whether to live with intention or simply watch life pass by. Ask yourself, what if today was your final chance to move forward? Would you waste it? What if today was the day your future self is begging you not to throw away? Would you still press the snooze button? Every successful person you look up to shares one thing. They understood how short time is, and they refused to waste it waiting. They worked with urgency. They acted. They built. They stumbled, but they got back up again. The true difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent, it's urgency. So what can you do? Begin with one promise. Don't let a single morning slip away. When you wake up, don't drift. Decide. Choose how you will move, what you will do, and how you will grow. Even small actions count. Writing one page, taking a walk, planning your day, all of it builds momentum. Life rewards people who respect time. Carry this thought with you like a mantra. I will not wait for life. I will rise with it. When you start living with that attitude, you'll stop fearing that life is passing you by, because you'll already be moving forward every day. So here's your challenge. Tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, don't reach for your phone. Don't waste time scrolling. Don't stall. Sit up, breathe deeply, and remind yourself, life doesn't wait. Say it out loud and mean it. I will not wait for life. I will rise with it. Number 4, don't argue with chaos. Organize in silence. Chaos loves an audience. It feeds on reactions, justifications, and explanations that attempt to make sense of what is still disordered. But the wise man doesn't argue with chaos. He silently reorganizes it. While most people scream, trying to understand what happened, the Stoic takes a deep breath and begins to put everything in its place. Because in the end, What conquers chaos isn't despair, it's patient order. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When everything seems to spin off its axis, problems, noise, confusion, arguing with chaos is like shouting at the wind. You tire, but nothing changes. The world doesn't listen to words spoken in the heat of imbalance. It responds only to those who act calmly, to those who reorganize the terrain while others still try to understand what went wrong. Chaos is inevitable. It visits us all, whether in the form of unexpected events, losses, or difficult people. But what differentiates the common man from the steadfast man is their attitude toward it. The former reacts emotionally. They try to solve everything at once, complain, and become distracted. The latter observes, understands what they can control, and begins the silent work of rebuilding. The trained mind doesn't seek revenge or immediate explanations, it seeks coherence. Because in the midst of confusion, the simple act of maintaining order is already a form of power. Imagine a sailor in the midst of a storm. While the inexperienced scream, he moves slowly but with precision. He knows that despair sinks the ship before the waves. So it is with the Stoic mind. It doesn't deny chaos but manages it. It creates structure amidst disorder, and that structure begins small, a clear thought, an organized action, a restrained word. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it's out of your control, accept it. If it's in your control, act on it." This simple distinction is key to not getting lost in the whirlwind. Chaos tries to drag you into emotional reaction. Organization pulls you back to the center. And in that center there is silence. Because silence is where clarity breathes. Talking too much when everything is confusing is like stirring up murky water. It only makes your vision worse. Sometimes the best response is withdrawal, focus, and calm planning before action. Organizing in silence isn't about a mission. It's about strategy. It's about preserving energy while the world wastes its own, trying to appear in control. It's the power to do things without needing to prove it. Noise is deceptive. It looks like movement, but it's just a distraction. Silence, however, is constructive. In it, you hear what the noise hides. Order begins with details, tidying up your workspace. Reviewing priorities, setting realistic deadlines, doing less but with intention. Chaos dissolves when you decide to act practically. Seneca said, "No wind is favorable to those who do not know where they are going." Organization is the map that keeps you on course, even when the wind changes. So the next time everything seems out of control, don't waste time reacting to what you can't change. Shut the noise out. Breathe. Do what needs to be done, one thing at a time. Chaos screams to distract you. Order whispers to guide you. Write in the comments, "I organize in silence what chaos tries to confuse," because serenity is not the absence of storms, it is the ability to hold the helm steady while the world churns around you. Number 5. Build your dream or build someone else's. Every morning when you open your eyes, you face a simple but powerful question. Will you spend today building your own dream or helping someone else build theirs? It's a hard truth to accept, but most people spend their whole lives working towards someone else's vision while their own dreams stay hidden deep inside them, waiting to be brought to life. Look around you. The job you have, the building you work in, the phone you hold, even the cup of coffee you drink, all of them began as someone's dream. They exist because those people chose to take action instead of waiting. They didn't waste their mornings or ignore the voice inside that pushed them forward. They moved with purpose, while many others stayed comfortable, still asleep to their own potential. Here's the truth. If you don't wake up with direction, someone else will give you theirs, and you'll spend your life following it. If you don't chase your own vision, you'll end up chasing tasks and goals that belong to other people. Now, there's nothing wrong with working for someone else. Sometimes that's what you need to learn discipline or find stability. But if you stop there, if you give up on your dream completely and live only for others, then you lose the spark that makes you you. The Stoic philosophers believed that every person has a duty to live in harmony with their nature. That means using your strengths, your talents, and your energy for something that truly matters to you. Marcus Aurelius once said, A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. So ask yourself honestly, what are your ambitions? Are they really yours, or are they just what the world told you to want? Building your dream doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow or throw away everything you've built. It means making space in your day, and even a little, to work on what excites you. Write that story before work. Build that business idea after hours. Learn that skill on weekends. What matters most isn't how fast you go, but that you keep going. Because every morning you waste, your dream gathers dust while someone else's dream grows stronger. Think of mornings as sacred time. When the world is quiet and calm, before the rush begins, you have a short, precious moment to plant seeds for your future. Most people use that time to scroll, snooze, or complain. But builders, those who chase their purpose, use it to create, to focus, to move closer to their vision. That's why morning routines are so powerful. They give you a chance to put your dream first before the noise of the world takes over. And let's be honest, building your dream won't be easy. You'll face fear, doubt, exhaustion, and setbacks. But you know what's even harder? Spending decades working on someone else's dream, only to realize you never gave your own a chance. That's the kind of regret that crushes the heart. So every morning ask yourself, whose dream am I building today? If the answer isn't yours, then find a way, no matter how small, to take one step toward it. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe it's just an hour. Maybe it's 20 minutes. Maybe it's one page written or one plan made. But do it, because if you don't, no one else will. Say this to yourself and mean it. I choose to build my dream one morning at a time. Number 6. Train presence as if it were physical strength. A mind that doesn't know how to be present lives tired even when doing nothing. The body is here, but the mind is already racing ahead, worried about what hasn't happened yet or regretting what has. That's why so many people live exhausted for no apparent reason. They're always somewhere else. Presence, which should be natural, has become a lost practice in the age of distraction, and those who don't practice it lose control of their lives. The Stoics called this mental self-control, the ability to remain fully in the moment, without being hijacked by emotions, notifications, or worries. Marcus Aurelius said, "Focus on the present. What's before you is all you truly have." This phrase is one of the most powerful ones anyone can apply in everyday life, because the present is the only territory where you can act. Everything else is noise, memory, or imagination. But the present requires practice. It doesn't come for free. Just as a muscle weakens without exercise, the mind wanders without practice. Presence is like physical strength. The less you use it, the weaker it becomes, and the more you train it, the more resilient it becomes. At first, maintaining focus seems impossible. The brain jumps from one thought to another like an untamed animal, but each time you bring it back, even for a few seconds, you strengthen your center. Imagine a soldier training in discipline. He doesn't just become steadfast on the battlefield, he practices in the details, in small daily actions. The same goes for mental mastery. Every time you choose to take a deep breath instead of reacting, every time you return your attention to what you're doing, without rushing to the next step, you are shaping presence, its practice, its repetition, its energy control. The modern world is a field of constant distraction. Every noise, every screen, every notification is an attempt to steal your attention. And attention is life. When you give it to everything and everyone, there's very little of yourself left. Most people don't realize they live fragmented lives. A piece in the past, another in the future, none in the present. That's why the mind never rests. Even in silence, it keeps screaming. Epictetus said, "If you want to be free, first learn to be master of your thoughts." Presence is this mastery. It's the invisible force that keeps you whole, even when the world tries to pull you away. When you're truly present, nothing easily destabilizes you. Other people's words lose their power. Fear loses its strength. Distractions lose their flavor. You begin to realize what has always been there, the power to act consciously. The training is simple, but it requires consistency. Observe your breathing. Feel the ground beneath your feet. Feel the weight of your words as you speak. Do one thing at a time. When a thought wanders, and it will, gently bring it back. It's like lifting mental weights. With each return, the mind becomes stronger, calmer, and more lucid. Presence also manifests itself in the way you look. Looking someone in the eye with full attention is a rare and powerful act. Being fully present, listening without planning your response, is a sign of a trained mind. It's this kind of presence that fosters clarity, empathy, and respect. The present mind isn't slow, it's precise. It acts without waste. It knows when to stop, when to move forward, and when to simply observe. The distracted person lives on autopilot. The present person lives with intention. And this intention is what gives weight, meaning, and direction to everything they do. So start training today. Don't wait for the perfect scenario. Use your daily routine as a gym. When you brush your teeth, be there. When you eat, just eat. When you walk, feel your step. Practice until the simple act of being awake becomes natural. Write in the comments, "I train my presence every day." Because true power lies not in controlling time, but in occupying the moment. Presence is the invisible muscle that sustains all forms of wisdom, and when it is strengthened, even silence becomes strength. Number 7, take care of yourself first. Let me tell you something that most people don't face until it's too late. If something happens to you, life will still go on. It's a hard truth, but it's real. Your job will quickly find someone else. Your duties will be handed to another person. And even the people who love you most will, over time, learn to live without you. Life doesn't pause when you fall down. It keeps moving forward. That's why putting yourself first isn't selfish, it's necessary. You can't give what you don't have. You can't chase your goals, help your family, or reach your dreams if your body and mind are falling apart. Yet many of us live as if we'll never break, skipping rest, ignoring our health, and forgetting about our peace of mind. We confuse sacrifice with self-destruction, thinking that giving everything away makes us strong. But that's not strength. That's slow exhaustion. The Stoic thinkers knew this well. Epictetus said that your mind and body should be guarded like a strong fortress. If the walls of that fortress crumble, everything inside it is in danger. The same is true for you. If you collapse, your goals, your purpose, and the people you love all feel the impact. That's why your first duty every morning is to protect yourself. Ask yourself, what's the point of working non-stop for money if you're too tired or sick to enjoy it? What's the use of dreaming big if your body gives out before you get there? Real discipline isn't just about pushing hard, it's about working wisely. And working wisely starts with taking care of yourself. What does that mean in daily life? It means treating your body like the tool that carries your destiny. Feed it with real food, not junk. Move it with exercise, not laziness. Rest it with real sleep, not endless screen time. And clear your mind with quiet moments, not noise and chaos. These small habits might look simple, but together they create the base for everything great you'll do. Think of your morning as the launch pad for your day. If you start it with rush, skipping breakfast, and stress, you set yourself up for more of the same. But if you begin calmly, drinking water, stretching, breathing, and thinking clearly, you start with power. A lot of people skip self-care because they think it's selfish. But the truth is the opposite. Ignoring your health is what's selfish. When you fall apart, the people who count on you suffer. Your loved ones, your goals, your purpose, they all rely on your strength. Taking care of yourself is not selfish. It's one of the most caring things you can do. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself, "You control your mind, not outside events. Understand this, and you'll find strength." That means protecting your thoughts is just as important as protecting your body. Every morning, check your mindset. Are you starting your day with worry and negativity, or with focus and purpose? Picture this: 2 people wake up at the same time. One grabs their phone, scrolls, and fills their head with envy and noise. The other drinks water, stretches, breathes deeply, and sets a clear goal for the day. Who do you think will handle life better? Who will stay calm when things go wrong? That's what morning self-care does. It builds your armor before the battles even begin. So make this your promise. Stop waiting until life breaks you to start caring for yourself. Don't wait for burnout, illness, or heartbreak. to remind you that you're human. Create routines now that protect your health, peace, and energy for the future. Each morning, ask yourself, what can I do today to make myself stronger? Then do it. Because the truth is simple, life doesn't wait for anyone. But if you care for yourself, you can move with life instead of being crushed by it. Say it out loud and make it yours. I will take care of myself first, because my dream depends on it. Number 8, stop collecting information and start practicing wisdom. We live in an age where knowledge is abundant, but wisdom is scarce. Anyone can learn anything in minutes. We have books, videos, podcasts, courses, experts on every digital corner. And yet, most people remain stuck in the same mistakes, the same insecurities, and the same cycles of stagnation. Why? Because they've confused themselves. Know a lot with live well collecting information has become the new addiction, and one of the most subtle because it disguises itself as progress. The philosopher Seneca warned about this 2,000 years ago. It is not the number of books that makes a reader wise, but what he absorbs deeply. The difference between knowledge and wisdom is simple. The former fills the mind, the latter transforms character. Knowledge is something you carry. Wisdom is something that carries you. And without practice, knowledge becomes just dead weight. Today there are those who study meditation but don't meditate, those who read about discipline but don't discipline themselves, those who watch videos about focus but spend the day distracted, those who talk about purpose but live without direction. The problem isn't a lack of information, it's excess without integration. The mind is inflated, but the spirit is empty. Learning has become entertainment, not transformation. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, live by it." And perhaps this is one of the most urgent phrases of our time. It's not enough to repeat what the wise said, you must embody what they taught. Wisdom is not measured by what you quote, but by what you practice when no one is looking. It appears in calm in the face of chaos, in patience in the face of offense, in discipline when no one is holding you accountable. Information is easy. Application is rare. And that's precisely where the difference lies for those who evolve. They transform knowledge into action, because true knowledge is a verb, not a noun. You don't has wisdom, you practice. The danger of accumulating knowledge without applying it is that it creates an illusion of growth. You feel like you're advancing simply because you understand the concepts, but in practice, you remain in the same place. It's like an athlete who studies running techniques but never goes out to train. The body doesn't change with ideas, it changes with movement. The mind does too. Wisdom begins when you ask yourself, how can I apply this today? Every lesson learned needs a testing ground, a real-life moment, a conversation, a difficult choice. It's in these settings that knowledge ceases to be theory and becomes living wisdom. Without practice, everything you've learned rots inside you, like fruit that's never harvested. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, wrote every day not to appear intelligent, but to remind himself of what he already knew. He didn't seek more books, he sought coherence. And that's what most people lack, coherence between what they study and what they do. The world doesn't need more informed people, it needs transformed people. With each new piece of content you consume, pause and reflect. Did this change me? Am I acting differently after learning this? If the answer is no, perhaps you're simply distracting yourself from the act of learning. Wisdom doesn't grow in a hurried mind. It blossoms in those who slow down to apply it. And when you start acting on what you know, life changes its texture. Problems stop being obstacles and become tests. Difficulties stop feeling unfair and become opportunities to practice what you've learned. This is wisdom in action, the point at which knowledge descends from the head to the heart and from there to the hands. So the next time you feel like consuming more, ask yourself, do I need more information or do I need to finally practice what I already know? Write in the comments, I practice what I learn. Because a wise mind doesn't seek to accumulate, it seeks to apply. And when you transform knowledge into action, every simple act of your day becomes a silent reminder that knowing is little, but living wisely is everything. Number 9. Listen only to the right voices. The world is full of noise. Everyone around you has something to say. Your family, your friends, your co-workers, even random people online. They all want to tell you what to do, where to go, and how to live. But here's a truth that changed my life. If the person giving you advice isn't living the kind of life you want, why would you follow their words? We often let other people's opinions matter more than they should. You tell a friend about your dream, and they laugh like it's a joke. You share your ideas with a coworker, and they say it's impossible. You open up to family, and they pour their fears onto you. Slowly, without even noticing, you start making your dream smaller so it fits into their narrow view of the world. The Stoics warned about this mistake long ago. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The opinion of 10,000 men is of no value if none of them know anything about the subject." His point was clear: not every voice deserves your attention. Wisdom isn't about who talks the most or the loudest. Just because someone sounds sure of themselves doesn't mean they actually know what they're talking about. Think about it this way. Would you ask money advice from someone who can't pay their own bills? Would you take health tips from someone who doesn't take care of themselves? Would you look for love advice from someone who keeps breaking hearts and blaming others? Of course not. So why let people like that tell you how to live your life? The truth is, you need to protect your mind from the wrong voices. Not everyone should have a say in your path. Surround yourself with people who live in a way you admire. If you want more discipline, listen to someone who practices it daily. If you want to grow in business, learn from people who've actually built something real. If you want inner peace, spend time with those who already live calmly and wisely. Turning down the wrong voices is just as powerful as turning up the right ones. Sometimes that means setting clear boundaries. Sometimes it means walking away completely. That doesn't mean you stop caring about people. It means you stop letting them steer your choices. And here's what matters most. The strongest voice in your life should be your own. Every morning, ask yourself, what do I really want? What feels true for me? Listen closely to your inner voice and trust it. Because in the end, you are the one who has to live with the results of your choices, but not them. So when you wake up tomorrow and the world starts shouting its opinions at you, remember, most of that noise means nothing. Choose carefully which voices you allow inside your mind. Say it with me. I will listen only to the voices that lead me toward the life I truly want. But there is a catch. If you've been trying for a long time to get out of conformity and ignorance, and you can't do it in any way, maybe it's for other reasons that you don't know what's causing this. But I know what it is. It's anxiety. Anxiety comes like a silent snake and poisons you without you feeling it. This leaves you infected for days, months, and even years. And if you have that, it would be like living sick. However, there is an antidote from the Stoics, which together with modern psychology can free you from all this, just as it freed me. I made a video showing how you can get rid of this poison in your life. It's in the first comment. Click on the link in the first comment and cure yourself of this poison of anxiety. Number 10. Discipline yourself beyond enthusiasm. True discipline begins where enthusiasm ends. Anyone can be dedicated when everything feels new, when there's motivation, praise, or visible results. But the Stoic knows, merit lies not in acting when it's easy, but in continuing when the flame fades. Enthusiasm is the initial impulse, but discipline is the silent engine that keeps the momentum going even when the spark fades. Epictetus said, "No great progress is made in a day." The phrase seems simple, but it carries one of life's hardest lessons. The path to growth is long, sometimes monotonous and often lonely. Most give up not because they fail, but because they tire of repeating the same daily effort without applause. They want the result without enduring the repetition. They want the summit without accepting the climb. They want the fruit but not the cultivation. Discipline is what separates the apprentice from the master. The enthusiastic begin with energy, the disciplined end with consistency. While the former seeks excitement, the latter seeks direction. Because enthusiasm is a visitor, it comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is a resident. It is built with habits, schedules, and repeated decisions, even when the will isn't there. Think of someone starting a project. In the early days, everything is exciting: ideas, plans, energy. But when the routine gets tough and the results haven't arrived yet, the mind starts to sabotage. Is it worth it? Maybe I'm not good enough. That's when enthusiasm dies, and discipline must be born. It's when the person decides to act not because they feel like it, but because they promised themselves they would. This silent decision is true power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Stop arguing about what a good man is, be one." The same logic applies to effort. Stop waiting for the right day to act. Act, even if the weather isn't perfect. The body learns what the mind repeats. The more times you overcome resistance, the more natural the movement becomes. The strength that requires effort today will be instinct tomorrow. Discipline is cold but fair. It doesn't depend on mood. It doesn't negotiate. It teaches that progress doesn't come from what you do once in a while, but from what you do consistently. And little by little, what once seemed difficult becomes part of your nature. That's why disciplined people seem lucky. It's not luck, it's invisible consistency. But there's something even deeper. Disciplining yourself isn't just about doing. It's about remembering who you want to become. Every morning you choose to keep your word, even when you're tired, even when no one's watching. You're building character. You're proving to yourself that you can be trusted. And this inner confidence is worth more than any fleeting motivation. Seneca said, "Continuous effort conquers all." He knew that the human mind is like iron that needs to be shaped by the heat of repetition. Discipline is the fire that hardens the will, and when you learn to act without relying on enthusiasm, you discover a rare freedom, that of not needing to feel in order to act. Today you may not feel inspired. Perhaps the path seems long, progress slow, and fatigue greater than willpower. But remember, what will make you strong is not the brilliance of a moment, but the weight of small decisions repeated with honor. Enthusiasm ignites, discipline builds. Write in the comments, "I continue even when the desire is gone." Because whoever learns to act beyond enthusiasm discovers a power that doesn't depend on the weather, only on the firm choice to follow. Number 11. Learn to endure the gap between planting and harvesting. Haste is a form of fear disguised as productivity. Everyone wants to harvest, but few can bear the gap between planting and flowering. This is the space where most give up, because the silence of progress is confusing. You do the right thing, but nothing changes. You act consistently, but the results don't come. It is in this invisible space between effort and reward that the Stoic is forged. Seneca said, "Time discovers the truth." And that truth is simple. Nothing great matures quickly. Every seed needs time to take root before it can grow. Impatience is the mistake of those who dig the soil every day to see if anything has sprouted, and in doing so, kill what was germinating. It's the same as doing the work and the next moment, doubting it. The wise man plants and trusts. He understands that the pace of life is greater than his calendar. The modern world teaches the opposite. It wants everything instantaneous: success, recognition, transformation. But what grows quickly dies easily. Profoundness demands waiting. And waiting isn't standing still. It's continuing to act without relying on guarantees. It's having active patience, the kind that feeds not on results, but on purpose. The farmer doesn't constantly question whether the rain will come. He prepares the soil, protects the seeds, and trusts the seasons. He doesn't argue with time, he honors it. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his diaries, "Everything that happens, happens at the right time." The problem is that, for the ego, the right time is never now. The anxious mind wants to control even the clock of life, and so it suffers. When you cling to urgency, you create unnecessary suffering. But when you accept the interval, you transform time into an ally. Because time is not an enemy, it is the invisible gardener who works silently while you persist. This gap between planting and harvesting is the test of practical faith, not blind faith, but self-trust. It's the period when nothing seems to be going right, and yet you keep doing what must be done. It's when no one sees you, but you continue to hone your own character. It's when the return is invisible, but the maturation is profound. The Stoic learns to endure this space because he knows, while nothing seems to be happening, something inside him is becoming unbreakable. Think of how many give up just as they were about to blossom. They mistake silence for failure, delay for denial, time for punishment. But the universe doesn't deny, it prepares. Sometimes delay is protection. Sometimes the interval is construction. And when the harvest arrives, you understand that it only exists because there was a time of rooting. That period when nothing was visible, but everything was being formed. The secret lies in shifting your focus. Instead of looking at the field waiting for the sprout, look at your hands that keep planting. That's what really matters. Patience isn't about standing still. It's about continuing to move in the right direction, even without applause. Those who master this art, master life. Epictetus said, "First, tell yourself what you want to be, then do what is necessary." The interval is the necessary. It's the time between decision and realization, the period in which your identity proves itself. Each day you do what is necessary without seeing the results is an invisible victory over doubt. So the next time you feel like giving up because the return hasn't come, remember, the fruit isn't the first part of the tree, it's the last. And the tree only grows because it has endured time. Write in the comments, "I endure the break because I trust in the harvest." Because patience isn't weakness, it's wisdom at a slow pace. It's the silent proof that you trust in the strength of what you're cultivating, even when the world doesn't yet see anything blossom. Number 12. Turn discomfort into a green light. Discomfort is the gateway to evolution, yet almost everyone runs from it. As soon as pain appears, most retreat. As soon as something challenges the ego, the instinct is to seek relief, not learning. And this is precisely why so many lives stuck in the same cycle. They want to grow, but they reject the terrain where growth occurs. The Stoic, on the other hand, learns to see discomfort as a green light, a call to move forward, not to stop. Epictetus said, "What disturbs a man is not things, but the opinion he has of things." Discomfort in itself is neutral. What transforms it into suffering is your interpretation. When you feel fear, shame, doubt, or fatigue, the natural impulse is to see it as a warning of danger. But what if it were a sign of expansion? What if, instead of meaning something is wrong, it were proof that something new is being born within you? Think about any real change in your life. None of them started with comfort. The first time you put yourself out there, spoke in public, started a project, said no when you would have said yes before, all of this brought discomfort. And then came strength. Discomfort is the price of building a new identity. It appears when the old mind is being challenged, when old beliefs are being questioned, and when the body is adapting to a new level of demand. The problem is that we've been trained to seek pleasure and avoid pain at all times. But Stoic wisdom teaches the opposite, to endure what is necessary, because virtue is born of effort. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle in the way becomes the path." This means that everything that bothers you can be used as raw material for your growth. Discomfort is the test that separates the curious from the committed, the dreamer from the disciplined. Discomfort isn't the enemy, it's a sign that you're touching the edges of your comfort zone. And everything new, everything better, lies beyond those edges. The pain of training comes before strength. The chill of uncertainty comes before confidence. The emptiness of loneliness comes before clarity. And that's precisely why running away from discomfort is the same as running away from one's own evolution. Seneca wrote, "No man is more unhappy than he who has never faced adversity, for he has had no opportunity to know himself." Adversity is the most faithful mirror. It shows who you really are when appearances fall away. In discomfort, you discover whether your discipline is real, whether your faith is firm, whether your values stand the test. It doesn't come to punish you, it comes to reveal you. Starting today, change the code. When you feel fear, look at it and say, "This is just growth in disguise." When you feel discomfort, see it as a green light. Here's the threshold I need to cross. This reinterpretation changes everything. You stop avoiding and start approaching. You stop hiding and start acting. This is how courage is trained, not in the absence of fear, but in the decision to continue despite it. Train yourself to act precisely when something bothers you. Having trouble waking up early? Wake up anyway. Discomfort is the training. Afraid to put yourself out there? Speak up anyway. Discomfort is the teacher. Tired but know what needs to be done? Do it. Discomfort is the reminder that you are alive, growing, expanding. The world rewards those who navigate discomfort with purpose. Those who learn to use it as a compass discover that it always points to the next level. So, the next time discomfort knocks on your door, don't run away. Invite it in. Listen to what it wants to teach you. Write in the comments, "I turn discomfort into a green light." Because courage isn't the absence of pain. It's the decision to move through it toward becoming your best self. And those who learn this never feel paralyzed again, because they understand that discomfort is actually the secret language of progress. Number 13, choose to act with purpose, not on impulse. Acting on impulse is like living like a leaf carried by the wind, reacting to what happens without direction, without firmness, without awareness. It's the soul's automatic mode. Acting with purpose is the opposite. It's being the wind that guides, not the leaf that floats. The difference between the two lies in a single choice: thinking before acting. And, although it seems simple, this choice changes the course of an entire life. We live surrounded by stimuli that demand immediate reaction. A message arrives and you respond without thinking. Someone provokes you and you retort in kind. An idea arises and you execute it without planning. This seems natural, but it's merely a reflection of a lack of control, a sign that the mind is being driven by impulses, not reason. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not over external events. Understand this, and you will find strength." He was talking about precisely this, mastering your reactions rather than being mastered by them. Impulse is swift but blind. It promises immediate relief, but almost always exacts a heavy price later. How many bad decisions have been born from a moment of anger? How many opportunities have been lost because fear got the better of us? How many words have been spoken and never been taken back? Impulse is the rush of the anxious mind, the need to respond before understanding, to act before feeling, to win before knowing what's at stake. Purpose, on the other hand, is slow but steady. It springs from a silent center. It is the strength that comes from clarity, from knowing why you do what you do even when no one is watching. Those who act with purpose don't rush because they understand that not every battle deserves a response. They learn to bide their time, and when they act, they do so with precision. The Stoic doesn't react, they respond. The difference is subtle but profound. To react is to be controlled by the facts. To respond is to consciously choose how to deal with them. Epictetus taught that no man is free until he learns to master his passions. This does not mean repressing emotions, but placing them under the command of reason. This is what the ancients called sophrosine, inner balance. Purpose is born from this balance. It is not driven by momentary pleasure, but by long-term vision. While impulse seeks relief, purpose seeks meaning. Think of an archer. Impulse makes him shoot the arrow quickly, driven by the anxiety of hitting the target quickly. Purpose, however, makes him breathe, align his body, feel the weight of the bow, aim calmly, and release at the exact moment. The result speaks for itself. Life works the same way. Those who constantly shoot arrows haphazardly tire quickly and hit few targets. Those who act with purpose conserve energy and multiply results. The problem is that the modern world glorifies immediacy. Do it now, respond now, decide quickly. But haste doesn't equal progress. It's possible to walk a long way and not move forward. The right action comes from the pause, from the space between stimulus and response. This brief interval is where freedom resides. It's there that you decide whether to act as you always have or choose a new path. When you learn to act with purpose, life changes its tone. Your words become more thoughtful, your gestures firmer, your decisions more coherent. The external chaos remains the same, but inside you, everything reorganizes. Because those with purpose don't need to chase meaning. They carry meaning in every action. Start practicing this today. The next time something irritates you, breathe before reacting. When you feel anxious about responding, wait. When you want to make a quick decision just to get rid of uncertainty, ask yourself, does this bring me closer or further away from what I truly want to build? Purpose is revealed in these pauses. And remember, acting with purpose isn't about grandiosity. It's about presence. It's about being fully present in every choice, even the small ones. Impulse is loud and urgent. Purpose is quiet and constant. And in the end, it's silence that builds what noise destroys. Write in the comments, I act with purpose, not on impulse, because true power isn't in acting first, it's in acting right. And when the mind stops chasing the moment and starts serving the purpose, life stops being reaction and becomes direction. Number 14. Life rewards consistency, not excuses. If there's one thing mornings have shown me, it's this. Life doesn't care about your reasons or your stories. It only responds to your effort. You can talk all day about why you didn't get up early, why you skipped your workout, or why you didn't chase your goal, but excuses don't create results. Only steady effort does. Think about it. One workout won't change your body, but doing it every day will. Writing one page won't make a book, but writing a page each day will. Saving a little bit once won't make you rich, but saving a little again and again builds wealth over time. Success doesn't come from one big, perfect moment. It comes from small steps repeated daily. The Stoics lived with discipline as their guide. Seneca once said, "It's not that life is too short, but that we waste much of it." Every lazy morning adds up. Every excuse piles on. But so does every act of discipline. The small things you do again and again quietly shape the whole story of your life. Consistency is powerful because it works in silence. You won't always see progress right away, and that's where most people give up. They stop because they want results fast. But mornings aren't about instant rewards. They're about planting seeds. Day after day, you water those seeds, and in time they grow. Excuses, though, are like weeds. They look harmless at first, but they slowly choke your garden. You say, "I'll start tomorrow," or "I'm too tired today," and before you know it, tomorrow turns into next year. Excuses destroy more dreams than failure ever could. So what's the answer? Create small morning habits that are non-negotiable, things you do no matter how you feel. Maybe it's 5 minutes of writing, 10 push-ups, or reading one page of a book. It doesn't matter what it is, only that you do it every single day. That's how you train your mind to act instead of delay. Think of your life like a balance sheet. Each day, you either add discipline or debt. Discipline builds you stronger. Debt holds you back. Which are you adding when you wake up? Here's the secret. Consistency builds confidence. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And when you trust yourself, nothing can shake you. Tomorrow morning, when your brain starts whispering excuses, answer with action. Even if it's small, even if it's not perfect, move forward anyway. Say this out loud and write it down to remember. I choose consistency over excuses. Every morning, I move forward. You've just walked through lessons that took me years to learn. Life doesn't wait for anyone. If you don't take care of yourself, it keeps going. Regret is wasted energy. Learn from it and rise. If you don't build your own dream, you'll spend your life building someone else's. Keep your vision private, protect it, choose whose words you let guide you, and above all, stay consistent. Every morning is a decision. Will you waste it or use it? Will you drift through it making excuses or rise with discipline? The Stoics said that time is the only thing we can never get back. Once today is gone, it's gone forever. That's why mornings matter. That's why acting now matters. I can't make the choice for you. I can't walk your path. But I can remind you of this. You are not stuck. You are not powerless. Each sunrise gives you a new beginning. You don't have to stay in regret, you don't have to follow the wrong people, and you don't have to keep building someone else's dream. You can choose a new direction, starting today. So, when you open your eyes tomorrow, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the right time. Don't wait for things to slow down. Just get up, move and act, and as you do, hold these words close. I rise stronger every morning and I will not waste the time life has given me. Speak it, write it, live it, because life waits for no one, and neither should you.